What's going on, guys? Kaiger here. New class Ninja is now available on SEA Southeast Asia servers. I'm going to walk you through all the abilities, the passives, the class advancements, and how they work together. Let's get into it. Alright, guys, first thing I want to talk about are the class advancements. These are the easiest to kind of see what's going on here and make sure this is upright. Yep. So only thing missing, as you see in the bottom right hand corner of this, is one level of HP percent, and then would be tier 10, and there's technically 15, so these numbers would be larger. So we get attack, defense percent, HP, flat crit, pierce rate, damage reduction, and attack percent. So this is definitely a mix kind of stat line. Now if we go over here to the global Discord and come to verified, CEN posted a spreadsheet with stats. Let me show you here. To move this over. There we go. So it's going to do this thing where, as you see at the top, it says scholar. So this is going to be the priest and judge, and as you see, it goes down. So we're looking for T10, which is where we would be at this time. Open this up. So 10. Make sure you guys can see that. Alright, so right above, right here, 10 would be equivalent over there for what we're looking at. Attack, HP, break, crit immunity, attack, damage increase, damage reduction, break, tenacity. So this is roughly what we're looking at, right? Same thing over that we just looked at for Ninja. We're looking at a mix, offense, defense, but definitely leaning in a certain way. I like how this works together because we have break rate, damage increase, damage decrease, and then for Ninja we also have pierce, damage decrease, but we'll also have damage increase that you'll see from abilities. This break is really nice. Flat stats is meh. What's interesting here is we actually don't see a lot of crit besides one particular ninja build that we'll talk about. I just wanted to give you an idea of what's going on with their stats. Now let's bring you guys back over to here. Move this back. Alright. So now, before I even touch on the abilities, right? They definitely caked a lot of stuff into the passives. So first we're going to talk about Blazing Owl, which is the left side. Blazing Owl, Perfect Blade. Each time the skill hits, which is any of your skills, this works very similar to how Dragon Fighter works, where if you launch a skill beforehand and then swap before it hits, this will count. So one that's a big one that's used a lot in that situation is the tenacity ball. If you throw the tenacity ball with priest, for example, swap to ninja, and then the tenacity ball blows up, you will get this 5% chi, which is nice. Their blazing owl takes a while to build up their chi, but it's a big payoff, whereas the other side gets it very quickly, but it's a small payoff. Gain additional skill, perfect blade. It's just an extra skill in the. You have your 4 skills in the top middle area. There will be a skill that you have to build up. So you build it up by gaining your chi that we already saw how you get it. Can't be activated when you have 100% chi. Consumes 50%. Reduces the cooldown of your ninja skills by 20% of their max cooldown time. So if it's a 10-second cooldown, it'll reduce it by 2 seconds regardless of where it's at right now. So if it's at 2 seconds and you click this, it will go to 0 and you'll be able to use the skills. For 10 seconds, increase your attack power by 10%. This is hard to gauge. It does not appear to raise the actual attack, but it seems to be just damage increase. This seems to be 10% damage increase. That's not on your stat. Final damage increase is what it seems to be, but I'll be doing more testing. And skill casting speed by 20%. This is massive. Casting speed is a big deal, and I'll be showing you all the animations. Casting speed 20%. By 20%. Additionally, for 10 seconds, the skill will be replaced by Ambitious Throw. And Ambitious Throw, you have to use 100% chi, which is actually kind of hard to make this work. You have to be using all your skills and you have to be hitting them. So it only goes to 100, and you have to use 50, and you got 10 seconds to get that other 50 back so you can do the Ambitious Throw. To activate this ability, use 100% chi. Enemies in a straight line will be dealt damage, and 10% of damage is restored to you. What's interesting about this ability is it has a massive range. You can use it across the board. And it's like literally Rasen Shuriken from Naruto. You'll notice some names will be very similar as well. Now let's talk about the actual skills, right? So Shadow Array Mirage, become invisible for 3 seconds while emitting a poison mist that lasts for 6 seconds, dealing damage enemies within the mist. This skill will transform into Scythe Weasel for 3 seconds. This is regardless if it hits or not. As we'll see, a lot of abilities care if you hit or not. This one doesn't care if you hit. But what's cool about this is you throw it down, you go invisible, deals damage in the smoke cloud you leave behind, and then you can use Scythe Weasel, and then you can pull enemies towards you. It's literally like a little lasso, and reduce their movement speed by 80%. It doesn't pull them all the way to you, but it pulls them closer to you. So if they're using a skill that requires them to be in the same spot like a charge up move, you can go whoop, pull them in. 15-second cooldown, which is important. As we see, its outer skill is just flat additional damage, always good. Next one, Aerial Ace. Charge forward, strike enemies, deal damage. After hitting, so this has to hit, this skill is transformed into Swift Falcon Slash. Can knock the adventurers in the air when hitting, so this does do a knock up when you hit with it. Swift Falcon Slash quickly attacks enemies in front, dealing damage. So this is, we'll see the range when I go to show you the video, I do them in order, and it's important to notice the range of both versions of the skill. 12-second cooldown. As we see, it's additional damage, flat additional damage, always good. Stealth Blade is one of the coolest abilities that we get. Throws a kunai at the target, dealing damage and marking the target. After hitting, so you have to hit, the skill transforms into Stealth Blade Rahu. Teleport behind the target, dealing damage and silence for 2 seconds. This is literally Flying Rajan from Minato from Naruto. Naruto's dad, where he throws the kunai and he has a talisman attached to it that he can teleport to. It's literally Flying Rajan, which is hilarious, but it's actually really, really strong. It's got great range. You can't really target it. It just throws it where you're facing. And then if you hit, you can instantly click the button. A lot of people are going to be throwing this and tapping right after it hits. Teleport behind them, silence, followed up by knock up, and then go into your combos. It's going to look it's going to look very good. And this is crit damage, so you have to get crit to make this do more damage. And the last one, Omnidirectional Enemy Slayer, deals damage in the target area. This skill grants 3 seconds of immunity to control, knockback, knockup effects when released. So it control specifically means stun, silence, things like that. Also, knockup, knockback. I haven't been able to test if this counts pull effect, but it doesn't list it, so I'm going to assume not. 25-second cooldown. This can be used in a lot of ways. Not like a dodge, but an ignore. You can be doing damage while also ignoring a stun effect coming in at you. Also, crit damage. So what you're trying to do here is use your skills. Ideally, Mirage and Aerial Ace are going to be your spammable skills. And then when you're ready to go in for the kill, you're going to Stealth Blade, go into them. After you pop your ultimate, Stealth Blade, go into them. Aerial Ace, knock them up. Mirage a Weasel, and then finish it off with Omnidirectional Enemy Slayer. And then during that entire time, as long as you click fast enough, if you click slower or you're bad with the silence, then you can skip the Mirage for the poison damage. And this is going to be doing a lot of damage, especially with your 10% damage increase. That you're probably going to Oko someone as a literal assassin move. Silence, knock up, dead, and then start working up your chi for the next rotation. Now talking about the other side, and then I'll go into the ability. First, let's just do the abilities. All right. So this is basic attack. Just click basic attack. That's what it looks like. First skill. So you are invisible, as you see right here. It's the same type of invisibility as Strength of the Wild for Wind Chaser. So you're not actually invisible, but a lot of things won't be able to see you, such as fairies can't basic attack you, slime from Daisy can't basic attack you, and other things can't really see you. So that's generally a PvE thing. But this black smoke will do damage. As you see, it went from blue to pink, which is going to be the enhanced version. Which, as you just saw, the whip, do pull them in. Alright, wait. And then that dash forward was the second skill. And then this is the and as you see, we are building up our chi. Let's go back a little bit again, just so you can see how quick the skill is. Boom, boom. And that's the that was the throw it and then teleport, followed by the AoE. And then I'm showing, as you see right here, 13 seconds. This is now at full. Click it. It got reduced. And now I just have the damage boost going in with all the abilities. Alright, into the other one. Shadow Owl. Each time a skill is used, gain 25% chi, which is massive. During combat with enemies, gain 8% chi per second. So you're going to have infinite chi. Chi's always coming in. Now, you're getting a lot more with this side because you're forced to use it more, and it's less of a payoff. Shadow Clone. 100% chi can be expended to activate, consuming 100% chi. The next Shadow Owl skill, summon a clone using the same skill but deals 50% of the damage. So instead of having the Perfect Blade and Ambitious Throw, you have Shadow Clone. Then we go into the abilities. Shuriken, Swift Wind, throws multiple shurikens forward, dealing damage, can trigger Shadow Clone. That means if you use Shadow Clone, this is able to be used. All of them say this. It is important because it does it. So if you use Shadow Clone, you will summon a clone that will also throw shuriken and will deal 50% of that 50% of that damage. Also gives you Hand Seal Pine. Now that's not important until we get to the fourth skill. You have to use the first 3 skills to charge up the fourth skill. And the fourth skill being your payoff. Night Owl Protection, which is effectively your ultimate, the fourth skill. And this is additional what happens if you are in Night Owl Protection. Creates an additional shadow, dealing damage. Enhanced skill will not trigger Shadow Clone. So you can't go enhance Shadow Clone and have 3 attacks. It's either Shadow Clone or enhancement. But it's actually pretty good range. This is flat additional damage, always good. Then we have Ninja Tool. Throws a roll of kunai. It's a pretty short range. It's almost melee. Damage and reducing their movement speed by 60%. Stand-in. So this changes how the ability works depending on where you're standing. When released while being controlled, so if you can't move, if you are unable to move, and that's really the only thing because all the other control effects stop you from using abilities, or very close to enemies, it causes enemies to retreat by 4 meters. This is like a pushback. It's very strong, so it'll be hilarious in something like if you're stopping them from running down a teammate, or if you're trying to get them off of a point in Crystal Battlefield, something like that, or if you're trying to push them out of a charge move like Spear Drop, you can stand in, push back. This skill can be cloned and provides Seal Plum, which doesn't do anything when you use it. It just is a stack for the fourth ability. Enhancement, if you use the fourth skill, deals burning damage over 8 seconds. So it'll deal extra damage that will ignore defense afterwards, 12 seconds. Also goes off crit damage. Third skill, Raikiri. Okay, Kakashi. Dashes in a straight line, so it's literally Raikiri. You dash at them, deal damage to everything in a straight line. The skill can be shadow cloned, so you can shadow clone double Raikiri, which is hilarious. But if you use Night Owl Protection, you don't have to dash. It does more damage, double damage, and you don't have to put yourself in harm's way. You can literally throw the Raikiri like Lightning Blade. Increase it. This is just flat additional damage. And now for the important one, Night Owl Protection. So you can't actually use this skill unless you have 3 hand seals. And it gives you effects based on them. So as we'll see, able to release when you have 3 stacks of hand seals, gain 8% max HP shield, and get immunity to knock up and knockback. Very similar to Priest passive, honestly. And resets the cooldown of all Shadow Owl. It says resets cooldown of Shadow Owl. The only thing here named Shadow Owl is your passive. No, this just resets the cooldown of your skills. Activates all hand seals for 12 seconds. So depending on which ones you've used, so you have to use your passive before using a skill to get a hand seal. So you can manipulate what hand seals you get in what order to get different effects. So as we see right here, activates all hand seals for 12 seconds. Pine, when activated, each stack offers 3% attack. So you'll always get 9% attack. Pine gives 3% per. So if you have 2 pine, you get 6% attack. If you have 3 pine, you get 9% attack. If you have 1, you obviously get 3. Plum, when activated, gets 3.6% crit rate per. This is a massive boost of crit rate, especially as we saw our class advancement doesn't have a lot, but this will allow us to actually hit those big crit numbers, especially pushing high numbers in Elemental Realm or Path of Fire. And then that's all 3, right? Pine, plum. Oh, and the third one gives you percent damage increase. You can't really see that. Percent damage increase. I will have all of these pictures on my Discord in the resources channel. And it reduces cooldown for the deepen skill. Because it does have a 32-second cooldown. So reducing it by 0.5, you bring this up to 5 seconds, making it 27 seconds. You can also bring it further if you have those if you leveled up your boots. So as we see right here, alright, I'm going to show all of the regular versions and all of the enhanced versions as well as the Night Owl. As you see, the enhancement on the right is darked out. That's because we don't have one. Once we use an enhanced skill, it'll get a red tick. Once it has all 3, we can then use it. So basics. Alright. Shuriken. I love the range. As you see, it's huge range. And then waiting to do enhancement shuriken. Enhancement shuriken. As you see, the shadow clone in purple. And as you see, I got a hand sign right there. Very similar to as you see through those out, that's the second skill. This is very similar to Ninja from Final Fantasy XIV, which is what it's based off of. I'm going to attack it a few times to keep it up so it doesn't time out. You can also see kind of like the damage outputs on the left. Alright, enhance throw. As you see, it summoned the guy, and it also threw the kunai with paper bombs attached on the ground. And then I just did a dash straight forward. That's the third skill. You can use it as a gap closer if you have something targeted. You can also just click it, and it will go in whatever direction you're facing. You can't hold click and decide where to go. Unfortunately, it's wherever you're facing. And then that's the second hand seal. 5, 4, 3. Alright, and remember the only change is going to be that I don't run with it. Boom. Boom. Alright. It didn't count because it didn't hit. So that's 3. And as you saw, I hit that. It reduced the cooldown. And then I immediately went into passive shuriken. Huge damage, and that's what you want to be doing exactly. Now, I'm going to get the questions. I'm going to have a full build guide once I do more testing for PvE and PvP. But as a quick idea of what I'm looking at here, let me go to... Okay, this one has a better shot. Now, I believe left side is going to be better for PvP. Right side is going to be better for PvE. With the spammable skills, throwing out the abilities. Very, very good for PvE. Left side is definitely an actual ultimate. But what's going on here is what I think is going to be the best. This first skill right here is good for widespread PvP. Where you're having to control a point like Crystal Battlefield, like Guild War, things like this, Shrine Peak even. But outside of that, I think you can take the Shuriken throw from the right, get a lower cooldown skill, Shuriken throw being 8 seconds instead of Mirage being 15, and this is melee, that's range, and plays better with the left side skills. This first right skill, second, third, fourth, and you're really going to be using shurikens and this second skill right here to kind of prime the opponent until you're ready to assassinate. You can probably sneak up some kills with those abilities, but your assassin combo is what I talked about before. Third skill, second skill, fourth skill, dead. That is the game plan, and you're going to pepper them with the first right skill until you get it ready. The NPVE full right side is really what you want to go. You actually, depending on the cooldown of this, we'll talk about it when I have the full build. But as far as echoes, holy obviously for PvP. If you're unable to get holy, they work really well with fire or wind. Especially right side works super well with wind because it cares about the cooldown. We also have some cool treasures that care about cooldown. This left side is also pretty good with wind. It has generally low cooldowns, so that's nice. If you want to go fire, you're definitely going to need priest. If you go fire, you're going to have fire. You're going to have priest and break free, so you can hit those crits with fire. But it'll do decent damage. But either fire or wind is my currently what I'm looking at. Earth has some play here because we have damage reduction from our class advancements. This gives damage increase, which is flatly good. It gives more burn, which is nice from Mirage. More peppering with a road. So if you have a high earth echo, you can throw shuriken, and then when you're stacking a road on them, they're taking more damage over time, and it gives you movement speed with earth. So that also has some ability down the line, But if you're just if you already have fire, may as well use fire until I do more testing and have a full guide for you guys. Till next time.